everybody was the chair of at least 3 committees, and nothing was happening. We were building process and structure before we even had a culture. And we had this meeting where we met and we threw it all out. We said we want to just be in there with both the doing stuff with whatever tools are out there live, however we can make it, and we want to be close to users. We want to be very close to the users, not to technology, but to what people are doing. What about if you say this portal of all stuff that we put up, we say, guess what? Here's what the people are using gel for. Here's where Tierra is, and we tell the story of Tierra, and we say, if you're a school, you can download Tierra and get into it. Fluidium. Here's how to get into Fluidium. Want a meeting in Fluidium? Let us know. We'll have a Biota meeting in Fluidium. Just taking what we've got now and empowering it and pushing users into it and promoting these fantastic emergent things to the audience and let the audience tell us what they want us to do. It helps us all, and it gets us really in touch with like people out there online. That I downloaded it, I loved it, I couldn't go to sleep. So you start empowering it at the portal side.
Okay, that's your job.
I think we need a better way to interconnect. We don't want to wait to DB4 before we can meet everyone. I think share here the good experience of meeting people that are of common interest. So if we have a chat system or a place to meet, something that either ActiveWorld or if it is another chat system that we run on each platform, people can actually happen to meet each other.
I am deeply skeptical about the frills. Frankly, I find email the most useful thing. If I've got something serious I want to say, I want to lay out an idea and I want to get it to somebody, I use email, and there's no other substitute for that. Everything else is just frills that are getting in the way of message and communication. So as far as I'm concerned, Biota is the tool to use for an international community trying to develop something.
So what's your
Sorry?
We really think.
online meetings can be useful too. You know, especially if there's some process going on and people have actually started to develop something. It's really useful meeting up in real time.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because the personal relationship is what's behind the email, and I think without that the email doesn't work. But I'm talking about communicating solid ideas and actually trying to get somewhere.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the consortium has a meeting about every 48 hours inside one of the virtual worlds with stuff plastered all over the walls and saying, that's our logo and here's the work schedule. Everybody's got to show up at the meeting and there's like an energy around that. And it's like, we've got a conference in 6 weeks and we've got, we've been able to use these worlds for 2 years to pull together the people in the mailing list that said they were going to do something.
Yeah, that's fine for the admin stuff, right? I'm talking about people who are actually doing hard design work, not like 1.5 sentences of chat in a virtual world, which is fine for that particular purpose. But when you're talking about transferring large amounts of information and actually, getting a specification finished, then I think email is it.
Let me ask a question. If for some reason you were able to magically make all of this stuff work together, you had a physics engine and all the other, evolver and all the other parts.
With Sun's support.
What could you do if that were to occur that you can't do today? And I'm asking the larger audience, not just the developers and not just the customers. This virtual you, which is this sort of shared idea of what this could become. You're real shy. All right, Charles.
Sure. No, because this provides anyone can have access to it. Somehow, with the fact that everyone does this, most of the engines are pretty much hidden away. They're very, very narrowly confined to either academic institutions or Santa Fe or something like this. This is the first time ever, and the multi-portal idea is the exact right way to go, in my opinion, that anybody from anywhere, whether it be a privately held idea or one of the open one in the public, can just pick out the tool and say, I want to harness or I want to harvest the biological metaphors of computing in some new way that nobody else would have thought of, and I don't need a grant to do it. I just do it. I just time. That to me is the most important thing this represents.
Kurt. I basically was going to say something very similar.
we have something new here. It's basically a new form of creativity. It transcends art and science, and we're trying to define it. Well, that's missing the whole point. There's nothing to define. It'll evolve, which is the whole point of the conference. And so, you asked, what's the point of this? This is a vehicle for us to start that process, or continue the process. It's already started.
Yeah, I actually didn't
That's
ask
why
what
I'm
the-
here.
Yeah, I didn't ask what the point is. I said, what could you do?
Well, that's what I would do. I mean, because that's why I'm here. Because to me, I see this process evolving. I'm an artist, and I see a use for this as a new way of being creative that is going to change the way we perceive creativity.
All right.
So
That's what I meant, Rob. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, Jan, I'm not convinced that I could simulate physics, you know, I studied physics, but maybe I'm just too lazy to do it. And so if these tools were laying around and I didn't have to create physics and I didn't have to create the virtual world, I could throw together, you know, a Sims thing. That's what it does for me. It saves me a hell of a lot of work that I probably, you know, wouldn't be motivated to do if I couldn't access the tools.
And so if you couldn't access the physics part of it, you wouldn't have such a, let me put words in your mouth, you wouldn't have such an exciting thing to offer the larger viewership.
Well, I would probably never get it done.
You just, so, okay,
I
wouldn't
might,
have.
but it'd be a hell of a lot more trouble, it'd take me a lot longer.
Okay.
It would enable me.
I think Gerald.
Yeah, along the kind of study lines as well as giving a share to the users, 20% or 30% as a screensaver, they're getting to look at the world, but maybe 70% or 50%, they're actually rendering the world or simulating. It's the environment where the evolution is happening on a network basis. So it's getting on their systems, and now you have that shared processing time.
How does it change your behavior?
Well, that would become a network where rendering can happen, or actually evolution can happen.
What does it do for you?
For me, that's the place where I would want to create. For me, I'd want to tie in business, perhaps business processes and ways that I can evolve business rules to run business.
Okay.
If you put, would you guys want to put that package out as shared, as open source, to say, okay, world, grow it, go crazy?
Joy's got a comment.
Would that,
Yeah, that's exactly it. But what I would get out of this is being able to see all the crazy creatures that other people are evolving, all the new genomes they'd be creating, and all the different sorts of worlds that they could evolve in. And the part that I'm really interested in is this part here that you have labeled other, in between the physics and the evolver, the glue between the two of those, and I think that's where a lot of interesting things are going to be happening.
I mean, in a sense, HTML was such an incredibly direct hit on the market because it was like 13 tags that basically represent what you could do in a Word document,
Exactly.
which had a huge user base.
Exactly.
And so you put that out, and the viewers were simple, and then nobody said it, but like, world, evolve onto this thing, you know, and look what happened. The system came out, it was compelling, it was simple, it was there, and it was extensible.
Yeah.
So-
Just a way you can describe, you know, how much food does it take me to move so far, and simple, and not saying, oh, not defining it, saying, oh, 6 pieces of food will take you, you know, this far, but saying a way that can be specified for a given space, and developing these ways of working that.
Yeah.
I think we
ways of
definitely
thinking
want
that
to
too.
continue the discussion. We're running out of time. But maybe, I mean, these are kind of components. Building or selling cool part of wall stuff and exposing it to the world is one job. It's probably more immediate. You take it out to the world part. And a working looks at this, that may be working with Tom, because Tom has a need, potentially a need, if his funding comes through. And then, in a sense, do we kind of do a show of hands for how many people would want this in place, and how many people would want this in place, and how many people would want to be part of a long-range discussion on this, and how many people want to discuss this stuff here and this stuff here? And maybe we can create separate lists for these parts. Lists,
I think maybe we need
but
some traffic on the first list.
Yeah,
Do-
I want to see some action. I want to see some people vote with their feet and actually get out there and do something.
but do you want to do a show of hands for what you guys would want to see? And on phase 1, portal to all stuff.
Let me,
Oh, well,
And all those who want to program do the website, leave your hands up. There we are. So great portal to all stuff. Maybe even get some mock-ups out to the listserv and say, this is,
Actually, how the beginning of this list, there's like an overall software map. You know, it's already up on the website. It's got like 15 projects or like 12 or 15 open source projects that are. You know,
yeah, there's open, that's already a seed for this. We gotta wrap up.
Quick question or quick answer about the first thing. Yeah, the portal idea here is hyperlinking to all the different sites to download it.
Yeah, all the tools, explaining what they are, where they're being used, how people out there can use them.
Because that's just one thing I wanted to say about my video server is you can have a video discussion of everything also.
Sure.
And linking, you know, just reading text or whatever.
Yeah, there'd be a pro forma format of if you've got video on this, put it up, because people want to see it demoed. Exactly,
Streaming video.
streaming video. So did we get a majority vote on that this is a good
I
thing?
think it was about a third of the audience had their hands in the air.
A third of the audience, so should we not do this thing?
I have a question. How many in the audience consider yourselves, I'm going to ask two questions because there's three answers. How many in the audience consider yourselves stakeholders in the outcome of this decision process?
sorry, what was the question?
How many of you consider yourselves stakeholders in the
You're writing a
outcome
book.
of this decision-making process?
You're writing a book.
How many? Okay. How many of you know that you're definitely not stakeholders in any outcome?
Well, what exactly do you mean by stakeholder?
Well, to the best that we understand the concept here, we don't really know what that means yet. It doesn't affect you.
You mean how we benefit? Will we benefit, or are you interested in being?
They want you to define stakeholder.
Okay.
I can answer because it wasn't everybody held up their hand. There was some fraction of the audience considers themselves a stakeholder in the outcome of this. A stakeholder means whatever happens as a result of this discussion is going to affect you in a way that you care about.
I'll raise my hand.
Okay.
So
Okay.
hopefully all those people are on the Biota mailing list.
That's a good question.
Because if you're not, you shouldn't put your hand up.
How many people? How many people are definitely sure you're not a stakeholder? It doesn't make any difference which way this discussion goes. Okay, 2. Okay, there's a whole bunch of you guys that are undecided. Okay, that's good. Let's get an idea of who's kind of standing, trying to decide. Okay.
Who's passionate about this piece? It's how
The Sims creatures.
it's the Sims creatures, but the part of it that says, gee, we should really start talking about how to put together to make it work someday. That's healthy.
Yeah,
Wow.
these are the people who came down the bar with me last night.
Oh.
Dark beard.
Now this is kind of getting down here, but in a sense, in any good product development cycle, you've got to have discussion going on all phases. But want to be discussing the end deliverable that includes what are we exposing to the world and what is our purpose? Are we creating a Cambrian explosion in cyberspace? Who would want to be in this discussion? That's pretty healthy.
If I can just speak out of turn, Bruce, when we started the idea with the nerve garden,
Mhm.
I think that's what pulled, in my opinion, what pulled everybody together. Oh, okay, we got a goal, you know, and everybody agreed this is what we wanted to do, and we did it.
Yeah, guys,
I don't know what happened afterwards.
Paul is right.
but we did it.
Biota.org has put a project out the door, and it was
and it
really
attracted-
well done. It was demoed live at SIGGRAPH, and 300 people used it, and
Yeah.
my God, it was great. It won an award at Ars Electronica, for God's sakes. You know, so we've done this before, and boy, it was fun. I'll
But I
tell
think
you.
it was clearly defined at the time, and everybody agreed, yes, we want to do this. And we just figured out who could do what. You know, and it doesn't matter if you can't do everything, you just look at the whole game plan and say, I can do this. You know, and everybody just self-organizing system concept, I guess you call it.
Self-organizing was one person, one person
Well,
helps them
you-
organize.
You self, whatever, you know, you say, sign up for this.
So sign up for it, yeah.
Is that enough of an expression of modularized interest?
Yes, I think so.
It's a
So-
organized.
Yeah.
Careful.
It's a,
So I think,
So-
is it, the next logical thing one would say is, what is our next target? What is our, do we have a date by which we're going to?
That's what I announced earlier. I mean, I've got a project schedule. I'm working on the draft
Uh-huh.
specification for this bit. This is the bit that me and my team are currently working on. The draft specification will be out before Christmas, and our target deliverable is for DB4. And how extensible it becomes beyond that, and how much open source and licensing deals we do is all open for discussion.
So perhaps, in a sense, your early buy-in, because you're so supportive of this all exposes and promotes your work to the world. And the Contact Consortium is a great resource. It is such a broad-based organization. There are thousands of people that have either on the list or have come to the site all the time, and they range across the board from kindergarten classes to Jerry Brown, and crazy things like this. And they're to Richard Dawkins, to what they're, and that's a resource. Once this is there, it'll become a hot site. It'll become a visited site. We already have a very heavily visited site. It'll become even better. So that'll benefit you in the short term, sort of power things up, convince you that this is producing value for you. This is going to be a bit of work. And if more than one person would like to help with this project, it'll benefit you all. I know that Paul and Tom. But is this something we want to have done in the first quarter of 2000? Sort of.
It will be begun. It will only evolve. So it will not be done.
Just mention something. I'll contribute some time to putting something like that together, because I've been working on a Lifeform CyberLife gallery as part of the BioLearn world, and we aren't public yet, but I have almost everything that was shown today already in a 3D gallery and with links to your work. Because it's not public, I haven't gone through the permissions, but I do want to ask your permission because it's going to go in the Eduverse, and then all of the people will be able to visit that. But I can easily do something simple to put on Biota site if you don't already have someone, to get screenshots, visual links that provide descriptions of everybody's work on that site.
If we end up by DB4 being the premier site for cyber biology, digital biota, all these metaphors, tremendous work that you guys have done is all there. There's going to be tremendous flow through for all of us. The web is such a powerful tool. And anyway, I'm just going on here.
Anyway, where's
Okay, so there's one more thing you'll have to do is turn on all the lights.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry, I'll just